creating electoral districts is a crucial step in facilitating free and fair elections. The process of fixing the number of seats and drawing the boundaries of territorial constituencies for the Lok Sabha and for the state legislative assemblies is termed delimitation. Southern states are in a unique conundrum. The southern states currently hold approximately 24% of the Lok Sabha seats based on the projected population, and the new methodology for delimitation, if implemented, might reduce the share of the southern states by as much as 5%. These states contend that those who have successfully controlled their population should not be penalized with reduced representation. This potential reduction is a major concern as it would diminish the political significance of the southern states. In a country like India, the result of any election hinges on the way votes are distributed across electoral divisions. This is because we follow the first past the post or the FPTP system, which entails that the candidate with the maximum number of votes will win the seat for that constituency, even if it is by a very small margin. Therefore, creating electoral districts is a crucial step in facilitating free and fair elections, as that determines representation in the legislatures, or for that matter, the parliament. The process of fixing the number of seats and drawing the boundaries of territorial constituencies for the Lok Sabha and for the state legislative assemblies, that is the Vidhana Sabhas, is termed delimitation. There has been a renewed debate about delimitation in the country recently, and that has sparked concerns raised by many chief ministers from the southern states of the country. The constitutional mandate for the delimitation process can be found in Articles 81 and 170. These provide for Parliament and state legislative assemblies to be divided into territorial constituencies for electing members. Article 82 mandates that Parliament enact a law, a delimitation act, after every census, and this is to be undertaken by the authority determined by the Parliament. The Delimitation Commission Act of 1952 established the Delimitation Commission, an independent body comprising of 3 members: a retired judge of the Supreme Court, the Chief Election Commissioner, and the State Election Commissioner of the concerned state. The redrawing of boundaries must ensure, as far as practicable, the equal distribution of population amongst constituencies within a state, geographical compactness, respect for existing administrative unit boundaries, and also considerations for communication and public convenience. Every assembly constituency must fall wholly within one parliamentary constituency. These population variables must be synchronized with other constitutional and legal dictates. Delimitation exercises were previously conducted based on the census data of 1951, 61, 71, and thereafter in 2002 following the 2001 census. Following the 1971 census, the number of Lok Sabha seats was fixed at 543. This number has remained frozen since 1976 to encourage population control measures. The Constitution mandates that a readjustment of these numbers will be based on the first census after 2026. As of the 2021 census, originally postponed due to COVID-19 considerations, is yet to commence, and debates have already emerged linking it to the upcoming delimitation. The prevailing democratic principle of one citizen, one vote, one value has been diluted in India in the interest of population control since 1976, when the delimitation exercise was postponed for the first time. Southern states are in a unique conundrum. The southern states currently hold approximately 24% of the Lok Sabha seats based on the projected population, and the new methodology for delimitation, if implemented, might reduce the share of the southern states by as much as 5%. This potential reduction in the representation is a major concern as it would diminish the political significance of the southern states and the voice that they may have in national affairs. These states contend that those who have successfully controlled their population should not be penalized with reduced representation. This situation is perceived by some as potentially undermining the basic structure of federalism itself, leading to disenchantment amongst the states that might lose political significance despite their lawman efforts in population management. Although the union government has ensured that the number of seats for any state would not be reduced and any change would be on a pro rata basis for all states, including the southern states. However, the basis for this pro rata share remains unclear, specifically whether it would be based on the existing percentage of seats or on the projected population. This ambiguity has generated significant concern, particularly amongst the southern states, along with the smaller northern states such as Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, and others. The northeastern states have their own share of problems, and they might be put in a disadvantaged position when compared to the larger states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh if projected population becomes the primary criteria due to the uneven population explosion over the last 5 decades. Article 329A of the Constitution ousts the jurisdiction of courts from reviewing matters concerning delimitation, treating such orders as final. However, the decisional practice and precedents pertaining to this evolving area has changed with the case of Kishore Chand Rathod versus Union of India, when a bench of the Supreme Court held that judicial review of delimitation orders is permissible if they are found to be manifestly arbitrary or irreconcilable to the constitutional values of our country. Another danger is the concept of gerrymandering or redrawing boundaries to benefit a particular party or a candidate. When it comes to delimitation, countries around the world have taken very different approaches. In the United States, Canada, France, Italy, and Germany, the task of redrawing constituencies lies with the legislature, the very body that stands to gain or lose from how the lines are drawn, often opening the door to partisan bias. In contrast, the Indian setup has more safeguards in place, considering the statutory mandate and the independence of the Delimitation Commission. Whilst past Indian delimitation exercises have mostly been impartial, there have been allegations of the ruling parties of those days trying to influence the delimitation process. The increasing availability of booth-wise voting data raises the fear that constituencies could be carved strategically to favor certain electoral outcomes. To counter this, there is a growing call to include political scientists and neutral experts in the process of delimitation. The upcoming delimitation exercise in India presents significant challenges, particularly in ensuring fair representation for all states, especially the southern states that have made strides in population control. The lack of clarity on the methodology for seat allocation, the potential for reduced representation based on projected population, and the risk of gerrymandering remain key concerns. A transparent process, a fair methodology, and safeguard against partisan manipulation are essential to uphold India's democratic principles and its federal structure. The concerns of the southern states regarding potential political marginalization needs careful consideration to achieve a just and acceptable outcome.